So where we left off, we had just used our two-part epoxy, the plastic weld, to glue the two parts of the foregrip together. And a nice little trick that you could do is just pretend this is a Q-tip, even though you know it's not. When you squeeze the two pieces of foregrip together, it's going to bleed out a little bit and you're going to have the goop sticking up. With your Q-tip, just while it's still wet, just swipe it back and forth so you have a very thin layer of the epoxy that's going on both sides of the actual seam. We're going to go over that with some compound later so you can't see it, and even though it's a small thin little film of the epoxy on the front and the back that we've smeared, it's going to give it a lot more added strength as opposed to if we completely wiped it off clean and didn't have that. So for this part where we're going to clean up the seams, we're going to use one of these, I don't know what the heck you'd call it, that kind of grinding bit. Comes down to a soft point on the tip of your Dremel, and we are just going to turn it on and just very slightly back and forth all the way along the entire seam, all the way around, and just clean it up a little bit on the inside also, because if you don't and you have a large glob of the epoxy in there that's sticking up more than just a little bit, you won't be able to get a wider barrel, such as maybe a hammerhead or one of the other ones, to actually go through the foregrip. It'll get caught up on that, so you have to clean it up a little bit. Don't forget, always wear your safety glasses. Alright, we just finished with the Dremel sanding over and kind of smoothing out the first outside part of one side of the foregrips. So, as you can see, it's just roughly smoothed out. There aren't really any huge chunks of epoxy anywhere. You can see, like over here, where there's a small divot where it is nice and flush, but with that two-part sculpting compound that we're going to spread on later, it's going to fill in all of these gaps. So it's going to be nice and flush. And it's definitely a little roughed up here from the Dremel, but that's okay. All we were trying to do was smooth it out. So we're going to flip it over and just clean up the inside of the foregrip just a little bit. In the same fashion, it doesn't have to be to the same extent as the outside. You're just trying to smooth this part out so that if you have a wider barrel, it won't get caught up on anything. So I just went on the message boards and, yep, right over there. Just went on the message boards and got the message from Badger Boy saying that he wanted me to take out all the plastic inside the air vents also. So I'm going to use this bit, which I got at the local hardware store for like, this one was actually a little pricey, so it was 15 bucks. But the reason I got this one is that it doesn't really get clogged up with plastic if you're using it to cut plastic, because of all the little teeth in here. And also, it's gritty, as you can see, so it also smooths out the edges as you cut. So I'm going to use this on the Dremel and pretty much go down one side, about halfway down, lift it up, go down the other, take all that material out, and probably use this bit to just clean up all the little corners and stuff. So I'll get to that right now. Alright, we just finished the very first vent hole. Just have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. This one is just a little teeny bit smaller than the others, but we're going to fix that by actually grinding out just a small little bit more on this side. The gap will be a little thinner there, but it'll actually look evened out. And so we'll just do the rest of them and then repeat it on the other side of the foregrip. Okay, I just finished, and I wasn't keeping track of the time, but that took a while, and I would guess it probably took about an hour to do both sides. As you can see, there's still some of the plastic fibers that are sticking up on the inside, and I'm gonna have to take a razor blade and clean that up. So yeah, there you go, you can see it better like that, so that when you're looking through it, it won't look dirty and scuffed up like that. Alright, as you can see, the two foregrip halves are ready, they're good to go. Using a box cutter razor blade, I cleaned out the inside of every single one of the holes all around on the inside and the out to try to minimize the number of plastic fibers that were sticking up out of the holes. And it's pretty much acceptable right now, so I'm going to go get the sculpting compound and show you how to smooth out all the seams and make it all look really nice and smooth.